So, good evening. Good evening. Les one more. You're actually not wrong, mate. You actually were spot on. That was actually the case. Listen, we've got a game tomorrow. Freddie has done his press conference. Obviously, a lot of you are saying I'm late. I'm actually early. Depends how you look at it. I'm actually early. What time is it back home? 7:15. So yeah, it's normally 5 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I'm kind of bang in the middle. For anybody who's expecting a preview of the game, that'll come after the Champions League games. I'm doing that at 10 o'clock UK time. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm gonna be doing it later, so it won't be a 9 o'clock stream. It'll be a 10 o'clock stream. But anybody who hasn't checked out the stream I did earlier, feel free to go and do so on that as well. Obviously, I did that stream because Freddie was going to do the press conference later than that stream was going to be, and I couldn't do a preview before we done a press conference. So yeah, you got an extra stream today. No John Cleary, it wasn't. You lot are mad. But we're going to go through who's travelled. John Jules, he's travelled. Robbie Burton, James Oliinka, Smith Rowe, Medley. There's some of the young guns that have travelled. Callum Chambers, David Luiz, Leno, they've all gone as well. Some of the players that haven't travelled: Pepe, Xhaka, Tierney, Bellerin. None of them have travelled. He was joined today, Freddie, with Joe Willock. Obviously likes Joe Willock a lot. Nurtured him in the reserves, the youth setup. He was asked about Monday's win and the value of that and how good that was for us. So yeah, he was asked about that. It does a lot of good when you haven't won for a long time. For me, it's about how we won the game. We kept the ball well. West Ham couldn't get hold of it. I don't know how the players felt, but I felt that. I felt that we played really well. I actually did as well. I thought second half we were superb. First half was boring. It was same old, wasn't it? But second half we were absolutely superb. I'm going to go through the full squad in a minute that's travelled, Omar, yeah? So bear with me. Let me go through this first. He was then asked about confidence. He said, you can see the players do things in training that aren't a problem, but then they can't do it in a game situation. You have to work on that, relax and be brave. We were like that in the second half against West Ham. Absolutely, exactly what I just said. Willock was then asked how he feels we're working with Freddie Ljungberg. He said, I worked with Freddie last year and he taught me a lot on and off the pitch. He's been like a mentor to me. I'm delighted that he's got the job now. It's good for me and I'll continue working hard and working for him. Listen, he needs to keep working hard because he's gone a little bit wayward this season. He started off the season fantastic. The game against Newcastle, he was superb. After that, he played against Burnley. Again, he was brilliant. Liverpool, I thought he was one of the shining lights in the game, in the league. Although we lost, I thought he was probably top 2 or 3 players on the pitch. Since then, he was then dropped by Emery for the Tottenham game. And he hasn't really recovered from that, really. He's been in and out of the team ever since. And listen, I do think Joe Willock's a very good player, but you can't be playing him at number 10. And I don't know why Emery and Freddie, until the recent games, has played him at number 10. But I don't quite get that. Freddie was then asked, are you going to take a gamble and bring the youngsters in? He said, we have a few injuries. We've played a lot of games lately. We have another game on Sunday against Man City. We've brought a lot of firepower here. We have younger players that played in the group stages. It's a big game and we are here to get a result. We have a lot of respect for our opponents. That would suggest that he's probably going to mix the team up, I'd imagine. This press conference, by the way, is a lot better than some of the ones he's done. It's a little bit more crystal clear and he's not waffling. This question was ridiculous. I don't know why he was asked this question. Should Arsenal go for Ancelotti? Why would you ask Freddie Ljungberg, the interim manager, that question? Obviously, you're going to get a generic response, which is I'm just trying to concentrate on my job. The club decide who to choose, and it's totally up to them. I stay out of it. It's not like he's going to go, well, yeah, actually, I don't want it, mate. So why don't you just go and ask Ancelotti to come? In fact, do you want his number? Why would you ask him that question? That's some rubbish question. We move on. He was then asked about how he's working with the youngsters and moving them up to the first team. He said, when they asked me to do that job, it was an honour. I've worked hard tried to do my best. And from what I understood, it was about how I develop the young players here. I want to continue doing that, which is good because we have got a good crop of youngsters, a very good crop of youngsters. And so I'm not suggesting they should all be starting week in, week out, because some of them clearly aren't ready. But we have got some good youngsters, and it's about how you integrate them youngsters into the team without burning them out, without giving them too much game time. I mean, a lot of people don't like the fact that Guendouzi's played so many games. On the flip side of that, the fact he's played so many games has probably given him so much confidence that every time he goes onto the pitch, that's why he's head and shoulders above everybody else at times. Not every week. Listen, the guy's still learning, but at the same time, for me, Guendouzi's been our best midfielder by a mile this season. But I do think it was right that he was rested the other day. He's played over 60 odd games for Arsenal in a year and a half. Yeah, for me, that's too many. You know, you play him for maybe 10 games and then say, right, take a little back seat or something. It's hard when the kid's playing well, but sometimes you have to nurture them properly, because they will get burnt out. And then once they start doing sloppy mistakes, that then becomes the norm, that they're doing them same mistakes every week. So it is going to be interesting to see how Freddie does deal with this, and for how long, because listen, I don't want him to be manager. I've made that quite clear. But at the same time, whilst he is manager, I don't want to see Saka starting week in, week out. I don't want to see Willock starting week in, week out. Even Guendouzi, I don't want to see all three of them starting week in, week out. But all three of them have got decent futures, I think. He was then asked about tomorrow's game, which is why we're here in the first place. It's a very important game for us. We know what is at stake. They probably need to win the game. We play a lot of games. Sometimes we have to change. Again, he's suggesting that we're going to go with a different team. We have a lot of respect for the game. We won't take it lightly. We want to win and get a result. Well, listen, we don't have to win the game, which could be a bad thing, because if you go out with that mindset that you don't have to win, 9 times out of 10, you don't win the game. So let's go out there with the attitude of we need to win the game. We don't, obviously. I think the only way we can get knocked out is if we lose 5-0. And that was pretty much the press conference. That was it. That was pretty much. There was a few other questions. It's not worth going through them. Let's go and have a look at the Arsenal squad that has travelled. Arsenal squad that has travelled, if I can find it. If my phone decides to work. We click on that. Do drive the likes up. Nearly 200 people watching this live. I would appreciate that. It always helps. Like I said, I will be back later after the Champions League games. So about 10 o'clock UK time, I will be doing my preview for this game and my starting 11 that I would pick for this game. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled after the Champions League. Hopefully Tottenham get absolutely hammered. I know Spurs 13's in my chat. So yeah, hopefully you get spanked 5-1. But yeah, let's have a look at the team that's travelled, if I can find it. Can't actually find it. Where's it gone? Let's have a look. Let's see if that's it. I don't want David Clown Louise anywhere near this squad. Well, yeah. Well, Martinelli's trained. I can see him on the pictures. Trying to look for a full squad listing of players that have trained. Kolasinac, Maitland-Niles. Trying to find a squad list. Can't find one. I had it set up ready to go, and now it's just disappeared. So yeah, you're just gonna have to bear with me. All I know so far is that Pepe, Ceballos, Holding, Mustafi, who's suspended, Tierney and Granit Xhaka, none of them have travelled. So I'd imagine, I can't find it. Sorry, lads and lasses, can't find it. But yeah, I'd imagine that the rest of them are pretty much gone. David Luiz is good. He won the Champions League and 5 Premier Leagues. You man are goons. Well, listen, Cleverson's a World Cup winner, mate. Don't mean he's any good, does it? Messi ain't won one, so is he better than Messi? Poor Tierney's out for 3 months. Yeah, that's sad, man. That's proper sad news. I can't even lie. Gnabry has become a phenomenal player. Well, it's amazing what happens when you get away from Arsenal, how good you turn out to be most of the time, isn't it, mate? Louise is pony. He's proper pony. But yeah, that was a better press conference than the one that I went in about the other week. I think it was at the Norwich game or the Brighton one. I think it was the Brighton one. Evening to you, Phil. But yeah, that was a bit more bit more relaxed. You know, listen, Freddie was under pressure when he done some of them press conferences. I get that. You know, the fans were on edge. We finally got a win, so I think everything's calmed down a little bit now. Which game are you watching tonight? Says Thomas. Thomas. I probably won't, mate, if I'm honest. I need to record a video for tomorrow morning. So I'll probably be doing that. I need to make a couple of phone calls as well. So I probably won't be watching any games. And then I'll be doing my preview and starting 11 at about 10 o'clock UK time. So yeah, man, the work's still carrying on. I'll still be working. Only Arsenal would choose Arteta over Ancelotti. Listen, I've seen a lot of people saying Ancelotti is just another Wenger and this and that. Well, Arsene Wenger never won in Europe. Ancelotti's won 3 times. So I don't know how anyone can make that comparison. Also, Ancelotti's won in how many different countries now? Italy, Germany, France, England, Spain. There's 5 countries. So yeah, I wouldn't make that comparison. One of them's managing still. Well, he's just been sacked, and the other one's not. So listen, I think Ancelotti's a good manager. Why don't you put some tinsel on the wardrobe? I hate Christmas, bruv. That's why. Can't stand Christmas. You gave Tottenham Harry Kane and let Gnabry go to Bayern. Yeah, I swear, you Tottenham fans are getting proper leery. Big up from Jamaica, Darian. Hope you're good, mate. He's won everywhere he's been, other than Napoli. He didn't win at Napoli, but other than that, I actually think he's a good manager, man. I wanted him to replace Wenger after Wenger left. So I don't understand that. You know, people seem to have this thought process, right? And it works both ways. I want somebody, and this is my thought process, I want somebody that's been there, done it, and won it, and managed massive football clubs and massive personalities in the dressing room, massive names, yeah, and egos. So for me, that's either an Ancelotti, a Simeone, maybe an Allegri, a Rafa Benitez, somebody of that mould, which is why I wanted Jose Mourinho, because the guy was absolutely class and he's managed so many big names. Obviously, that ship has sailed. So the ones I've just named, for me, I think that your CV, the better your CV is, the more qualified you are. That might be a stupid mindset, but you've handled big names. Ancelotti's like dealt with the AC Milan teams, the Real Madrid team, you know, Chelsea players who down tools left, right, and centre. He's managed some PSG, Bayern Munich. There's 5 decent-sized, massive football clubs that he's managed, and I do include Chelsea in there. Chelsea, as much as we don't like them, they are a big football club, but he has managed some big egos, right? Including Cristiano Ronaldo, including Mesut Ozil for the short period of time before he bought Gareth Bale, Neymar, Lewandowski, people like this, Hazard. So for me, I think that coming into a club of Arsenal stature, it's not going to be too big a job for him because he's already managed massive football clubs. So he'll walk in and he'll come straight in and everyone will go, whoa, it's Carlo Ancelotti, right? But that doesn't mean that he's the most qualified for the job just because he's got that record. I get that. On the flip side, anybody who would rather take somebody who's never managed, i.e. Arteta or Freddie Ljungberg, over an Ancelotti, I think that that's just wow. You would rather go with somebody like Arteta, who you don't know how that's going to work out. Yes, it's still a risk under Ancelotti, but it's less of a risk for me because Arteta's never managed. Arteta is not going to command the respect off of a Mesut Ozil or an Aubameyang or players like that because let's be real, what did Arteta ever win? What did he ever achieve? Like, yes, he had a good career, he had a long career, but what did he actually win? You know, he can't stand there and say, well, I need you to do this, Mesut, I need you to do that. Because they're going to look at him and go, bro, you're Mikel Arteta. Whereas if Ancelotti comes in or an Allegri or a manager of that mould that's been there, done it and won it and dealt with big names, I think that you stand more of a chance to succeed with that person than you would with somebody who's never done it. We're not a project. I've said this so many times. We are Arsenal Football Club. So if Arteta wants a project and wants to go and manage, cool, go to Barnet, bruv. Get yourself down the road to Barnet, start your career down there and work your way up. And in 5 years' time, if you're smashing it and you've worked your way up the leagues, yeah, and you're doing really well, then yeah, cool. Maybe I'll be open to it. Right now, that ain't what we need. We don't need a project. We need a proper certified manager that has been there, done it, and won it. So there we go. No watch along tonight, Ryan. No watch along, unfortunately, mate. Like I said, I need to do my daily transfer video. I want to upload that tonight before I go to bed. And I will be back after the Champions League to do another stream. I've got a few phone calls to make as well. Do a Sol Campbell and manage a League Two team. Well, listen, you're probably saying that in sarcasm, mate, right? But at the same time, why not? Frank Lampard didn't say, well, I just want to go and manage Chelsea straight away. He went down the road to Derby and done really well with Derby. And now he's got the gig at Chelsea. So for anybody who thinks that Arteta is going to be the right man to guide us forward, cool, I respect your opinion. I don't agree with it. Ancelotti is out of date. Well, people said that about Jose Mourinho as well, Mod. Yeah, like just because they're old and they've been in the game a long time doesn't mean they're out of date. But only time will tell with Jose, and only time will tell with Ancelotti. But for me, I would have took both of them just like that. People say that Simeone, that's another one. That's my first pick, Simeone all day long. People say, oh yeah, but he's too defensive. He hasn't. That's not the Arsenal way. Well, what is the Arsenal way? Concede 20 shots a game and get piped by absolutely everyone. Not for me. We haven't got a style or an identity. So why don't we get somebody in who actually does adopt a style and an identity and put that on our team? And if that means that we're Park the Bus FC, cool. I'll take 1-0 every week. I see that when I was growing up. I will fully take that. There's no God-given right to go out and entertain anyone as long as it's a results business. It's not an entertainment business. So I would fully take a 1-0 to the Arsenal. It's all well and good having all this free-flying football, but if you can't defend and you're conceding goals every week, what's the point? You know, we see that when Liverpool should have won the title a few years back, and Gerrard slipped. You know, they couldn't keep clean sheets, and that ultimately ended up costing them a title. Because if they could, they would have won it. You know, and that's where I don't want us to be in that position where we have to score 4 just to win a football match, and that's kind of where we are at the moment. 3 or 4 goals, otherwise we're gonna drop points. We need to go down the route of shoring it up, keeping it defensively sound, and building from the back forwards, not from the forwards back. Yeah, and that's what I think we should do. Like I said, it's only my opinion. Simon Panesar, evening to you. We should go for the Monaco manager. You are the first person, my friend, who has mentioned Jardim since everyone was knocking one out about Jardim when they won the title. It's amazing how things go in cycles because nobody wants him now. Not one person other than you. And that's not a dig at you, bruv. Fair play for putting his name out there, yeah? Because I said that on a stream the other day. I said, what happened to Jardim? He was flavour of the month because he won with Monaco. And then everyone went, oh, yeah, but his team got decimated. Okay, well, people keep telling me how great a manager Ten Hag is. My man didn't get out the group. Does anyone still want him? Yeah, because I didn't want him to start with after losing to Spurs and then drawing with Chelsea. Yeah, I don't think he's that great a manager, but he's flavour of the month, flavour of the 6 months because he got them to the semi-finals. They're now in the Europa League and they couldn't get out the group. For me, he ain't good enough. Yeah, he is not good enough. The only reason people, I think, want him is because the way Ajax play football. Well, Ajax have played football like that since before I was born. You know, so this fascination with playing good football, it needs to stop. Yeah, we haven't played good football for 10 years, since 2008, 11 years. We need to go down the route of playing winning football. And if that means that we have a bit of style with it, cool. But ultimately, you need to sit and defend. If you don't concede a goal, you can't lose a football match. It's as simple as that. And then you can build on that with your attacking players like Pepe, Abba, Laka, even Mesut Ozil if you want to throw him in for a game or whatever. You know, but Martinelli as well. Ten Hag bottled 2-3 goal leads, not for me. Well, there you go. Exactly. I'd take Lee Gunner for manager. Big up yourself, Les. Come on. What about Wenger? I think he's free at the minute. Well, he's actually working for the most corrupt organisation in world football. So I'm sure he's on a nice little healthy paycheck there. I can't see why he'd leave, mate. Let's read some more of these. Marco Rose. That's another one I get told a lot. Again, they play good football. Is that the reason you want him? I'm not too sure. I think he would be good, even though he ain't an elite manager. The one thing I'll say about him is he reminds me of a Nagelsmann. Yeah, very similar. Yeah, very similar. They're very quick on the break, super quick on the break. They're flowing. For me, I can't remember the guy's name. Why is nobody putting it out there about the Frankfurt manager? Why is nobody doing that? What is it? Because it's Frankfurt and it's not Ajax. Yeah. Nobody's mentioning about Frankfurt's manager when they were slapping everyone in the Europa last season and should have beat Chelsea in the semi. I don't know. They then go and spank Bayern Munich up 5-1, get him sacked, Kovac. People would take Kovac. I wouldn't. He then gets Emery sacked by slapping us up at the Emirates as well. I've not seen one person mention his name. Yeah, I don't understand why that is. They play decent football, Frankfurt. Lee, I think we should attack the shit out of City. They are weak at the back. There are holes there. I know that I know we are, but let's just go for it, says Hans Zimmer. Evening to you, Hans. Well, yeah, listen, Man City ain't great defensively this season, which is why they've lost, 5 games this season? So, yeah, listen, some teams you can go at. Yeah, Man City is probably one of them at the minute. The problem with us is if we go at them and we don't defend properly, they're going to batter us. Yeah, because no matter how poor they've been this season, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Sane, Sterling, Aguero, you give them half a chance, it's a goal. So yeah, I don't know. Listen, I've seen us play City a few times, and every time I don't think I've seen us beat them. I genuinely don't think I've seen us beat them live when I've been at a game. I see us obviously when S.Teov dominated midfield. But other than that, the games that I've been to live, even before that, I've never seen us beat Man City. It's pretty mad. When Ozil makes a pass, Arsenal go on to score. Why are you trying to troll me tonight, Gjorgjievski? Who passed the ball to Ozil? In fact, the Aubameyang goal, if you actually look at that pass, yeah, it was a misplaced pass that Aubameyang then done all right with. Or was it the Pepe? I think it might have been the Pepe one. Either one of them goals, it was a misplaced pass. What do you think of Jose wanting Matic and Fellaini? Oh, you're asking Spurs 13 that. Well, listen, I watched Expression's video earlier, and I swear to God, that was too funny. I think that's just a load of rubbish. It's not pink, it's purple, bruv. Come on. Some of you lot are jokes. Santiago Cazorla wants to come back. I'd take him back as well, Adam. He'd still be our best midfielder now. Lee, I don't like this snowflake fan base. Should have got Jose now. Let's get Simeone or Carlo. Maybe I'll merge them together. But listen, everyone's got an opinion, and that's what's so fascinating about football and their fans. Yeah, this is why certain radio stations are flapping over people having an opinion. Like, at the end of the day, everybody is entitled to their opinion, and no opinion is right or wrong. If people don't like it or don't agree with it, cool, just move on, dust it off, and just go again. I get asked this every day. Why aren't you on Arsenal Fan TV? Why do you live in Spain? Why are you asking me stupid questions? This is like, come on, seriously. They will give this job to. That doesn't make sense. Sorry, mate. Can any coach improve our defence? I do think they can. Simeone would get better defensive record with that defence. I think Rafa would. I think Ancelotti would. I think even Brendan Rodgers, I know he signed a new deal. I think he'd do better with that team. There's a lot of managers out there that would do better with that defence. It's not so much our defence, but I think it's our midfield. When you pick I know it's a joke, but come on. So was mine. Because I see the first one, now I see the second one. I think that when a manager picks a rigid three in midfield every single week in, week out, you will see our defence get better. Yeah, when you're chopping and changing the three in midfield every single week, you're never going to get any cohesion. It's just going to be stupid. So I don't quite understand why we don't just pick three midfielders and stay with it. And if that means Mesut Ozil starts, cool, play him at number 10. If that's Granit Xhaka and Guendouzi or Granit Xhaka and Torreira, cool, play them, yeah, in their right positions. And if that happens to be us for the next 10 games, no matter whether I rate Xhaka or Ozil or not, cool. I'd rate Freddie or rate the next manager for saying, do you know what? That's my midfield. Yeah, and if it works, cool. And if it don't, then we can all have a meltdown about it. Would you take Martinez from Inter over Abba or Laka? I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, there's a lot of good footballers out there, yeah? The difference is the Premier League's unforgiving. Thank you for that, Jerome, for your donation, mate. Appreciate that. Italian league football, man, for me is dead. It is dead. It ain't like it was back in the 90s when I was growing up. It is such a dead league. Yeah, and I'm not so sure that that guy would smash it in the Premier League. Would he do better than Aubameyang? No way. Would he do better than Laka? Maybe. And for that reason, that's why I wouldn't take him, because for me, it's just a maybe. Yeah, I think that somebody, Chris says he's overrated. I think he's overrated. But at the same time, you never know, do you? Some players have come to this league and surprised me, man. Yeah, and I thought, oh, blimey, hell, you weren't going to do any good, and then you do. So I don't know. Listen, do drive the likes up. 360 people watching, only 64 likes. Come on, every day, 100 likes ASAP. 100 likes ASAP. If Aubameyang goes, we should go for Werner. I agree. We need Graham Potter, says Dan. Bruv, I'm fully occupied. I can't take that job right now, I'm afraid. Let's do a few more of these. I'm going to wrap this stream up. Don't forget, I will be back 10 o'clock UK time for a preview for the game. So yeah, you get 3 streams out of me today. Turkish league is better than the Italian league. Well, that's actually not that as stupid as it sounds, if I'm honest. That's actually right. Aubameyang for Jovic, I'd take that Elmi all day long. If they give us a few quid, maybe. Martinelli striker or left wing, evening pass was. Eva, I think he's that good. He can play Eva. I think he is that good. I smashed the like, but it only counted the first smash. Oh dear. Madison and Sionchu new deals agreed, 120 million each if you want them. Are you going to watch the Spurs game to hope they lose? No, I'd rather watch paint dry, and I'm busy. I will be doing I'll be doing another 3.5 minutes. It won't be 5 minutes. I'll do up to half hour. Jovic will be, or Jovic, as I keep getting told his name is Jovic, not Jovic. Jovic will be classed with Pepe and Martinelli banging balls into him, says Jordan. I agree. I actually agree. People get hung up on this Aubameyang this, Aubameyang that. Yeah, that's cool. What about when he retires? What, we're going to fold the club and just liquidate because Aubameyang's retired? We need to look for further down the road. Yeah, big clubs keep evolving. That's why they're big clubs. We fully need to do that. So if Jovic is the answer, then cool. Am I mad to say sell Aubameyang and Laka? No, I don't think you are, mate. I genuinely don't think you are. I said it the other day. I got ripped apart for it. But people seem to be strung up on the fact that these two are the only decent players we have. And when they leave, we're ruined. Not the case. Like I said on the stream when I spoke about it, we could get over 120 million pound for them two. Worst ways, 110 million. Yeah, 110 million pound. Maybe if we did a swap for Jovic, we've got 60, 70 million for Laka, maybe. That 60 or 70 million buys a defensive midfielder. It buys a proper centre-back. Yeah, and then Martinelli's coming up anyway. We can see that he's proven that he can score goals in the Premier League and Europa League and the Cup. We've got Pepe. I don't think we need both of them. I'm not too fussed if they go, if I'm honest. I know it sounds silly, but they're not the be-all and end-all of this football club. We've had bigger and better strikers than both of them. So, and we have recovered. Yes, we're not as great, but the whole team ain't as great. So 1 or 2 players don't make the whole team. And sometimes, like Liverpool proved when they got rid of Coutinho, go and get rid of Coutinho, and you go and buy a proper goalkeeper and a proper centre-back, and guess what? All of a sudden, you start winning again. Yeah, so for me, I would be open to selling them both. How's Fake Taxi treating you? It's treating me great, thank you. Thank you very much. It is actually treating me very well, James. Appreciate both your donations, Rob and James as well. Everyone knows that not everyone automatically comes and scores goals straight away anyway. Keep Aubameyang, he scores goals, says Adam. Well, he does score goals. Listen, he scores a hell of a lot of goals. But that doesn't mean that we can't replace that. You know, I mean, if you look at Lacazette's goal scoring record, I think he scored 41 goals in 100 games, something like that. 41 goals. Yeah, I think it's 41 goals, 19 assists in 100 games. So he's been involved in 60 goals, yeah, which is not bad. People tell me that's world class. Is that how low the standards have dropped? That 1 goal and 1 assist every now and again is good. Not for me. Not for me. You're doing something in 6 out of 10 games. So for 4 games, you're doing nothing. Yeah, that ain't good enough if you want to be deemed world class. For me, I've said it before, a Giroud, a Jovic, a player like that would do better in our team. Probably not better than Aubameyang, but better than Lacazette. And I rate Lacazette. I think Lacazette's a better footballer than Aubameyang. Not a better goal scorer, a better footballer. But I think a Giroud, and I can't stand Giroud, I think he'd do better and score more goals in our team now than Lacazette is. Because we don't play with that quick pass and move. We don't play with that Liverpool style where we're just relentless on the counter. We don't play like that. So, you know, we're not ever going to see the best of Aubameyang or Lacazette. Yeah, I think we are seeing a good Aubameyang. Don't get me wrong. Is it the best Aubameyang? No, I still think he can do more, especially off the ball. Aubameyang is better than Laka at scoring goals. His movement's ridiculous. Probably the best movement in the Premier League in and around the box. But at the same time, Lacazette has scored, what, 7 away goals in 2 seasons? That's not good, you know. That is not good. Would a Giroud type character, that mould of player, do better? Probably. Jovic, probably. So yeah, let's have some perspective on it. Are they both world class? Probably not. Probably not. Aubameyang, you can make an argument for it. Laka, nah. But I do think Laka's the better footballer. Right, I've gone over. See, look, you got your 5 minutes. You got me on a rant after that, didn't you? I'm going to do one more. You can laugh at Giroud, but Giroud, mate, yeah, he scored loads of goals against your lot. So yeah, I'm going to do one more of these. Man City are running riot here. I don't know any of the scores. I haven't seen any of the football. I'm not going to watch any of the football. So anyway, on that note, I am going to get myself out of it. Thanks to everyone in the chat. 8 of you, please slap the like. Put a like on it if you haven't. Evening to you, Jutaru. I always get that name wrong. I hope I got it right this time. Thank you. I know you was one of the first in the chat again as well, mate, so appreciate that. But yeah, I will be back around 10 o'clock UK time to do the preview for the Standard Liege game. Jesus has got a hat-trick. Look, they're clicking into gear just before Sunday, aren't they? Buenas noches, Oego. Laters, peeps.